Ladies and gentlemen, your hosts, Michael Wilkes, Angel Ortiz, Dr. Chad, and Sam La Cavera. Go check out beardedbrowns.com and be sure to like, follow, and subscribe. Enjoy the show.
What is up, Browns fans? And Chad just disappeared. Just playing. Oh, he's back. Hey, guys, it is Bearded Browns podcast, and we are here on this beautiful day, ready to talk the Cleveland Browns with you. Training camp, every camp, preseason game, football has started. Well, it started the Pro Bowl game, obviously, but it's starting for us this Saturday against the Bears. We're going to talk a little bit about that. But first, I must say, Mike, happy belated birthday, my friend.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad I didn't forget to play the intro this week. So
Yeah.
first
You don't
time for
look
everything.
a day older than yesterday.
60.
Today.
I look 60 today.
No, Mike is a
You got
young
the white
24.
locks, man.
He's
Yeah.
got, that's why he combed his hair to the side today. It's his belated birthday celebration show.
Yeah.
One of the
Remember
things.
that, Angel? Like 2 years ago, me and Angel always wore a hat on the show, and we had fans like or do something. And if we reached that amount of likes, we did a show hatless.
Yeah, that was the last time I did that. That's the last time. Now I probably can do it again. It doesn't matter. I mean, people have seen me without hats before. They just don't know it's me. They're like, who are you? I'm like, Major. Oh, put a hat on. Then you know me. What's up, KP Young? Nonetheless, guys, we are here. We're going to talk about, I went to training camp today. Me and my brother went there. Someone gifted us some tickets, and it was a great experience. We're going to talk about that. What's up, James Frank, and the YouTube chat. It was an interesting. So you guys want me to just get into it right now? Yeah, let's get into it.
For sure.
So here's the thing with the training camp. Like we talked about this a couple of times about the quarterback tracker. It is a fun thing for me personally to talk about because I think it's a coffee book. Like you talk about it over a couple of drinks, and it's something you don't take seriously. And today I got to see full experience why those words are true. Because though the stats and the statistics look good for certain quarterbacks, either Deshaun or Watson, doesn't matter. I still felt after leaving, my brother said, so what do you think? And I said, we're going to draft a quarterback next year. We just are. And I know fans are not going to want to hear that. And this is not a knock on anybody else other than me. This is me saying this. This isn't Chad. This isn't Mike. This isn't Gary's going to hate me on Saturday when you guys go on your first radio show. But Gary said, how did the quarterbacks look? And I told Gary straight out, we will be looking for a quarterback next year because the answer is not Watson because obviously we don't want to resign him. And Shedeur Sanders, I've seen repeatedly over and over and over again, have not learned. Let the ball go. You've had people in the crowd say, throw the ball at practice. That's something that's not being reported, by the way. People are telling him to throw the ball either away or at receivers. Now, just understandably so, you're probably seeing the chat, not all his fault. He was on the second team. There are second teamers there, but at the same time, when Deshaun Watson plays with the second team, he doesn't get grace. So I'm not going to give Deshaun Watson grace. I'm not going to give Shedeur Sanders grace. He is holding the ball too long, and by the time someone is in his face, he is trying to throw the ball, but it's too late. It is considered a sack. I did my own sack tracker today, and they both got 4 sacks. So 4 of those incompletions should not count because literally somebody runs past them, sack, and they hold the ball for another 3 seconds and throw the ball for a completion. So I just want to say, don't believe everything you see, even on X, when it comes to throwing and catching a ball, because 90% of the time it's a sack.
Let me ask you something though. Could this be another offensive line issue?
That's going to be my next point, Mike. I understand everybody thought the offensive line was fixed. I said it was repaired, but I think Chad's more right here than all of us. It's still a work in progress. Okay, it is the offensive line is still a work in progress. I'm not speaking about Fano. I think he's holding good against Verse, but it's the other ones. There are leakage coming through the line constantly, constantly, and it could be our defensive line is good. It could be our defensive front four is amazing. It could be that. But the problem is if you're facing a defensive front like we are, that offensive line needs help. That is James Frakes said we're getting Marshall Manning in 2023. And those are the things that I don't like to hear. At practice today, as a lot of people were going ooh and on over Shedeur Sanders, and I'm thinking like, should have been a sack, guys. Like, why are we oohing and on about? Like, I posted something on our X, and obviously you get everybody combating it, saying the receivers aren't getting open. All that's true because he's playing with the second teamers. Like, they're not getting open. The point is, he's still not learning from throwing the ball away. Just throw it away. Just throw it away. And I'm sure that's part of the issue we're going to talk about here soon with Todd Monken and his certain things that he said Shedeur still needs to work on. And I feel that this is not something that get coached out of him. I feel he's going to be more worried about making a big play than the check down. And that's what I fear most. So I'm hoping that I'm wrong by week 17 and we have our quarterback. But I'm going to sit here and say that we will be looking for a quarterback in 2027.
I'm not completely sold on that yet.
Breaking news.
Yeah, everyone's like, it's like great Angel's starting to show up such a freaking Debbie Downer. But if you go and you see, like, that's like, Mike, you've said it a couple of times, like even when Shedeur throws the ball, it's kind of wobbly. He's underthrown a couple of passes that the receivers make great catches for. He doesn't look good consistently. Now, where Watson does look good in is during operational plays when they're doing 11 on 11 and they're running drills, running plays. He does look more comfortable, and he should because he's a 10-year vet, right? Shedeur is still not there yet. There's still a lag of getting out of the huddle, setting the table nonetheless, and then getting the playoff and saying hike, and then still that time. There's a mechanism in his mind where it's just running slow, and I don't know if he can get that to go quicker. That's what I have to say about the quarterbacks. But I good news.
The ball?
Yeah, he pats the ball, and I don't have a problem with patting the ball. I'll be on record for that. But you have good news is that Denzel Boston, that guy is everything but what you think he is when you see those tapes on X. Whatever video you see on X, times it by 10. That dude is always open. Him and Casey Concepcion is going to be a problem. The only problem is, hopefully we get a quarterback to throw him the ball. Because if we do, those two guys and that offense is going to look spectacular. That's why, in some ways, maybe I'm talking myself into this. Just start Shedeur. Let's see what he can do with this young core of offense that he has. And if he falls on his face, then we can say at least we tried.
I mean, that's one philosophy, and I think that is what the most Browns fans and even media share. I think that's where most people are at. They're not interested in Watson. They, even whether they believe in Sanders or don't, or whether they're like cheering for him and like him, or they don't care, most people are on board with you with that. Is like, just put him out there and sink or swim. I just wonder if a head coach can think like that.
Yeah, I don't think he is.
He's not thinking sink or swim at this moment, because I think no matter what, he's not going to sink. You're going to see glimpses of greatness out of him and his coaching and all that, but you're going to the Shedeur thing, the whole quarterback thing, is where it lies the problem, obviously. So while a lot of people are saying that he could be one and done, Todd Monken's one and done if he doesn't make success out of all three quarterbacks he had nothing to do with. He didn't draft any of these guys. He's trying to make the best with what he's been given. And if you can't do that, then you are correct. We'll be drafting his quarterback next year.
And there's an argument that what you just said, like, it seems like Todd Monken does like Shedeur Sanders. I'm not saying Todd doesn't like. I think there's interest there, but I think I'm speaking for Coach Todd Monken, like I'm him. But it seems like he's like a parent who tells a kid that I can only tell you to do so much, and you're gonna have to eventually learn on your own. I think it's gonna get to that point where Todd's probably advocating for Shedeur, wants to get him to start the starting position. But he's like, I mean, if you can't get these things set up, if you can't get the offense set up, I just can't bring you out there. At least Watson could get us to there and then hike the ball, and then whatever happens, happens. But we'll see.
Well, at least you're speaking for Monken and not Shedeur's cameraman speaking for other things.
Speaking for his own guy, right? His content creator. Go ahead.
No, yeah, that's such a big story this week that we talked about off the air, is like voices around him that get a lot of recognition on the team talking about, other guys on the team. And what's interesting is where we disagreed was, I don't think the Browns care about those guys, about those voices, in terms of like Coach Monken or Andrew. But the players probably care, and I'm sure like the organization as a whole would rather that not happen. But I just wonder if it matters once we see these guys play.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to. Sorry.
No, you go ahead. Yeah. It's preseason, right? They're going to tell maybe after game 1, hopefully, after that Bears game, they're going to hopefully find out more of I guess I left training camp thinking like, I don't think it matters who starts, because I think the offensive line for the first, like we said consistently here, the first 4 or 5 weeks is going to be an issue. So I think those first 4 or 5 games is going to be difficult to win. And then you're prolonging this quarterback battle to where you're even now ruining the gelling of the quarterback receiver. So I think it'd be best in Todd Monken's interest just to name somebody and just let them get chemistry, let them get understanding of terminology, let them get just used to each other. Because I think he can. I would hate to see another last year when it comes to the quarterback thing, where you wait till the last second and then game 1 you could win, but because you didn't have any chemistry or consistency in practice, you blow it.
I think I want to clear the air on something. Like, literally, guys, we got to think of this as a whole new approach. I know we all want to win games, right? We all want to win. That's fair to say. But you're coming in this with a whole new offensive line. You're coming in with quarterbacks that are reading now a new playbook from what they were reading last year, whole new coaching staff. Things are not going to look good right now. Things are not going to look good in preseason. Things might not, like you said, look good till week 4 or 5. But don't get your hopes up right away, but have hope for possibly big changes coming and possibly winning games soon. I mean, sooner than later would be better, clearly, but
yeah,
the way things are looking right now, especially with the videos that we get and see, just aren't enough to make a decision for any of us. Honestly, like it's as it seems right now, it's all a tie for the quarterback situation. So
that's a good point. And I came out there thinking that same way. It's like I don't see how people can say Deshaun Watson's ahead or Shedeur Sanders, because I think there's so much of issues with them both. It's like a tie goes to the runner, and if you have a tie goes to the runner situation, just give it to the young guy and see if he develops, in my opinion.
And that's where I stand with that. Because if for some reason Shedeur comes out and balls like we all would like him to, again, I'll say this every show, I don't care. Next year we won't have to worry about quarterback. And I mean, unless we get that doomed injury or something stupid, but I'm so sick of quarterback. I'm so sick of quarterback tracker.
Get it?
Yeah.
So
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 my
there's
my
this
only
bad
rebuttal
news.
though,
Go ahead.
my only rebuttal to what Mike is saying is if Shedeur goes out there and balls, that's great. Has anybody seen anything yet that would suggest Shedeur is going to go out there and ball? That's where I'm at as far as like following this whole story. Like I would love that. I would love every one of our guys to go out there and ball, but like I'm waiting for some evidence to make me think that's even a likelihood. Like
Er,
it could be possible, but I don't want possible. I want likely.
Do you think if one of these guys weren't capable of doing the job, they'd go after another veteran like they did Joe Flacco? Somebody's capable.
No, I think they're resting. I think they're gonna try to figure out if Shador's a guy. If not, they're gonna play whoever, and they're gonna say these guy is not the guy. Our guy is gonna be next year. Whatever quarterback we can get, we're gonna get next year. That's just my take. And Bad News Brown says overall on YouTube says overall Shador has been better, been the better, more consistent quarterback, and we all see that. How?
We don't
How?
see anything.
If you're not
Yeah.
at training camp every day, you don't see it. That's the point of me starting to show the way I did. What you're seeing is a mirage. Because what you're seeing is somebody on X posting a video of him throwing a pretty ball. But what you're missing is the fact that two DBs ran past him way before he even let that ball go. No, I'm not blaming that on Shedeur. Again, it could be an offensive line issue, but the fact that he has not learned to get rid of the ball and he's looking for the big. Now, maybe Todd Monken says throw the ball long anyways, regardless, just finish the play. Maybe we're not privy to that information. I can only go based upon what I've seen, and the balls have been wobbly. He underthrew Tillman
That's
big
not
time. Tillman had
something
to
to
make a
brush
play on it.
over, Angel. I don't remember last year seeing the ball thrown the way it's thrown this year. It's odd because the one thing we could count on is when he released the ball, it looked pretty, it floated, it was a spiral.
It's weird.
This year, I've seen a ton of them, and I have to, like, rewind the video to see who actually threw it. Like, is that Gabriel or Green? Who threw that? And I was like, shocked. Or even Watson, because I've seen Watson throw terrible balls here. But
Yeah.
the amount of times I've rewinded because I was like, "Is that Sanders?" And it ends up being this weird wobbly throw. It's gotta be them trying to rework his mechanics, and it's just not, like, there yet because his ball looks worse now to me than last year in the limited footage I've seen. It's
Yeah, I
weird.
don't get when people say that Shador looks better so far at camp. If you're not there, you're not seeing it. That's why it's weird. Like Zach Jackson would tell you Shador Sanders look horrible, while this other person tells you it's perception, right? So maybe they're looking at Shador differently, or they have different expectations. Like Shador does have some improvement. Like I do see there's some improvement there, but overall, I think him holding the ball, not being aware yet, is all concerning to me, which is what I'm looking for. Letting go of the ball under 3 seconds is something I'm hoping he does. End game operation, something he struggled with today. Now Watson's arm doesn't look as strong as it used to. It just doesn't. He's still not having. Occasionally, I saw a zip on the ball, but it's not as consistent. So maybe that's I feel bad for Todd, man, because Todd Monken is gonna. I don't think he's gonna, regardless of who he picks. It's not gonna be pretty this year.
Yeah, which is a
Unfortunately.
bummer. A bummer
Hey,
reality check, Angel. You can follow him at Akron Jackson.
Yeah, no. Sorry, Mike. I
No,
don't want
this
to bum
sounds a
you
lot
out.
like what Zach Jackson has been saying about camp for a month. Is people are saying Shedeur looks good. People are saying Watson looks better. Really, they both look bad, and that's why a lot of people want to start Shedeur because if they both look bad, then play the young guy. That's the philosophy I hear. And again, when people say like Shedeur has had the better camp, I've heard more from the sources I actually believe what Angel's saying, and it's that neither have been better. In fact, if anything, I've heard Watson has looked stronger the last week and looked better in the spring, and Shedeur looked better in June. But right now is the real football with the most 11 on 11s, the most padded practices, the most install. So that's where I see this reality that it's leaning towards Watson. And you guys have to tell me what you make of this. We now have a head coach last year and this year. We now had last year's quarterback coach, and now we have a GM who have all brought up specifically how important it is to understand the pre-snap, understand how to get the playoff in the huddle, understand like quick reading the defense, understanding the film room. And that's just not something you hear in every camp. And they're saying that to us for a reason. And I wanted to know your guys' thoughts on it because I have assumed the reason is because the quarterbacks aren't excelling at that.
I think it's the offensive line, obviously pre-snap issues. I think it's the quarterbacks not being able to read defenses or call an audible if needed to make that sacrifice. That's just you're blind, it seems. And then yes, Angel, you're correct. Wobbly balls, some underthrows. I've seen the same from Gabriel, overthrowing, trying to make deeper passes.
Mhm.
I've also seen receivers dropping, and that's another issue I don't want to happen this year. So it's not even one of those mind over matter things right now. This is real. Like this is where things start getting serious, guys. Like we have to sit here and analyze every video that we see on social media, trying to put it together ourselves. And there's a lot of things that these people don't see, like you guys explained earlier, where you're seeing two DBs run in on them and they just run past them because it's a sack, but he still makes a play. And if the play
Because
is
they
caught,
can't touch the quarterback.
right? So there's just those little stupid things that just people don't pay attention to. And there's a lot that goes into it. There is a ton that goes into it. And I get it. It's just camp and preseason's about to start. And hopefully you'll see something better out of these guys in a real game situation rather than just at camp. I don't know. I'm trying to come up with
But
something.
the reality of what Angel said earlier, and you brought up the quarterback tracker, Mike, the reality is when you say those things like that play doesn't exist, they obviously at practice let the quarterback play through because they need to do an analysis on are the corners able to cover? Are the receivers able to catch? There's more to see by letting the quarterback continue the play. But if that play doesn't exist and people are saying like Watson isn't throwing the better ball, but you count the sacks and you're saying Shedeur's not even getting these balls off. And from what I've heard, Watson's also getting sacked a ton and not getting the ball off. So when you try to translate to what's going to happen this season, they're going to get sacked a bunch and those passes won't exist. So it's irrelevant whose ball looks better because it's not going to get the air except for practice. So it's just so silly to follow this quarterback tracker knowing that they're letting these quarterbacks run around long after the play is over for 5 seconds and then make a dump off to a running back and they're like reception. But that would have never happened, so it's irrelevant, and it's so hard to separate if you're not watching it and thinking like the coaches are thinking. They wanna see the rest of the play, but they know the second the quarterback is touched, that play was over for the quarterback and the offensive line. They blew it.
Here, let me give you this scenario, guys. All right, so we know we have probably a top 5 defense, correct? And then you put that against I mean, at camp, they look like a top 5 defense at least, right?
Unless this offense is terrible.
That's
Unless this offense is a bottom 5 offense.
But you also got to think that this is pretty much a whole new offense. You got 2 rookie wide receivers. You got an all new offensive line that has to gel, and you have a quarterback and a half. That I don't even know why I said that, but it's what it seems like we have, a quarterback and a half, right? And that's not a short joke either.
Yeah, according to the head coach, we have 2 starters.
Yeah.
But it looks
yeah.
like, according to Angel, we have no
0.
starter.
But my point is this defense is that good where you're shutting down an offense, which is things you'd like to see, but just not against your own team, obviously. But I just can't wait to talk about how good our defense is shining, which we always do. But I want to talk about our offensive side
Yeah.
of the ball shining. And it seems that depending on what defense we play and how this scheme is actually set up, we're not going to know. It's
Yeah.
that's
We
the
know,
that's
like,
the horrible part. The
No,
unknown
it's
is
true.
right
And
now.
what makes it frustrating is I think there are going to be bright spots this year. I think there's
Yeah.
so much young talent and so much room for growth between right now and December at the receiver position, tight end, running back, the line especially. Questionable at quarterback, but I'd expect to see them progress. They're not going to be what they are today in a few months. But the reality for me is like everything that we want to see from these receivers developing, Fannin, the line, and the offense and these young receivers, all of that is held back if the quarterback position is bad, and that'll be the bummer. The plus will be if that becomes very obvious earlier, we'll still just be looking for anything we can out of everybody else, and I think we're gonna see it. We saw so much last year with terrible quarterbacks out of Judkins. The line stunk. We still
Yeah.
saw a lot out of Judkins. We saw a ton out of Harold Fannin, and the quarterbacks were so bad, but you could just see when they did make it because 'cause they're bad in an inconsistent way. Both
Yeah.
Watson and Sanders will make plays, but they just need to be consistent. But what's the positive of not being like Colt McCoy that just can't get the ball to people is when those flash plays happen, you'll get a chance to see Judy, uh, Boston, Concepcion, Fannin all do something with it. So I think there's going to be a ton to cheer about. But what will be the harsh reality is if the quarterbacks aren't good, you're just not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Well, everybody's wanting to talk about Judkins, and we've been blowing him up with his coming back and showing promise to us this year. But if the offensive line isn't doing what they're supposed to do, it's not going to look good.
Unless
Yes,
they're
he's had
good run protecting, not pass protecting. That
or
could
they could
be
be bad
a
at
way.
both.
There,
Yeah, I mean, I'm saying they could be good run protectors, and he can still look good. Just your quarterbacks won't look good because they struggle at pass protecting. Which,
What's
Judd,
crazy
now
is
that
why
you
don't you
bring
ever
it
see
up,
these
I mean,
runs?
I did kind of notice our run game was a little better. It's just when we were throwing the ball, sometimes that offensive line struggled. So maybe they're trying to figure that out still. The run pro,
Realistically,
the
how
pass
long are
pro.
they holding
Sorry,
onto the ball at camp?
being generous, 3 to 4 seconds.
An
3 to 4,
average is
and
what, 2.33?
no, they're averaging
between one and a
averaging
half and
3.
two.
They're
No, I mean,
averaging 3.
average
The average
average
is 3
quarterback in the
seconds.
NFL is
It
2.3
is
to 3.
long. It is a long time.
I'm
3 to
talking
4
about in the
seconds.
NFL period is like
Oh, in the
2.3 to
NFL,
3
it's
seconds.
2.78, I believe, is the average time. I looked it
All right,
up so
so
much last year.
You're right. It's two
look
and
forward
change, two and a
look
half.
forward to a lot of dump offs to Fannin this year. That's what's going to happen again, just like last year.
Fannin and Casey Concepcion,
Honestly,
screens,
who
Mike's favorite
cares? That
play.
would be great. If the quarterbacks aren't great, find ways to
You
scheme
find ways to
open
do it.
guys quick and just force your quarterbacks to move the ball quick. The problem is, according to Angel, that's what they're struggling with is just hike, deliver. And so I don't know. And the
Yeah,
chat is going wild, by the way. I love the
I said,
chat
I don't
today.
the chat's messing. I can't even see the chat. It's not moving for me. But go ahead,
Oh my
sorry.
gosh, there's so much going on in there.
Oh, shoot, there is. I just
We'll
updated. Go
have to
ahead.
fly back and hit some of it, guys. So stick around. We're going to hit some of these comments, but I think that's why you have a chance, Angel and Mike, to see something this year from a lot of these skill players because Munkin's big, like prop up offensively is he's good at scheming guys' strengths. So
Yep.
if that strength is just one-on-one jump balls to Boston, that's what we're going to do. If it's one hole breaks for Judkins, the guy only needs 1 second or less to get to the line of scrimmage. He breaks so many tackles that if he can just get an initial hole, we'll see something out of him and his ability to break tackles as the season goes. Casey Concepcion is a yards after catch guy. Like, there's plenty to see. This is not a doom and gloom. The Browns are, you know, absolute disaster podcast. It's just more of the reality of, do they have a real shot? And without the quarterback, no, it's just we're depending on everything else on the roster developing to the future. So
Yeah, go 27 said, you guys think Junkin is good. He massively struggled because he was getting hit behind the line, 2 yards behind the line. Like every time he got the ball, and he still averaged what,
4
2,
yards?
3 yards a carry. Like, so, and there's a statistic I was saying for weeks that he was getting hit 2 yards behind the line, but then after contact, he averaged another 3 yards. So, I mean,
right.
when you have a horrible line like we did last year, you're going to struggle. It's not his fault.
And that's why I like advanced analytics, because when you have a situation like that, you can look to, okay, he's not getting any yards, so how do we grade him? And the most important grade for him, if your line sucks, is yards after contact. Because if you average 3.6 yards after contact, which I think he did, to your point, if that contact starts 2 yards after the line of scrimmage, you're going to average 5.6 yards a carry, and that is
Yeah.
awesome.
Huge.
So it's like you just have to look at the stats that fit the situation that the players are in, and that's what we're going to have to do again this year. And it infuriates everybody, but you have to, because there's no other way to grade when a team is bad except for looking at some of the individual like analytics.
You really can't.
Yes,
I'm not going to sit there and point it out now, because you pretty much have a whole new offense. You got a whole new offensive coaching staff. You got a whole new, like, this stuff doesn't happen overnight.
Everywhere,
going to.
everybody's new.
Yeah, that is why I said 5 to 6 wins, man. People are telling me 10 wins, and me and Chad was like, guys, your whole offense is brand new.
But
Like, how are
maybe
you gonna
that's
get
what
10
Monken's
wins?
doing. I know there was a lot of coaching changes last year in the NFL. We get that. Head coaches, offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators getting swapped. I get that. But this guy is coming here trying to put together a team, and you do that at camp. That's how you put your team together. You take the best and you make that on your 53-man roster. That's how you do that.
Yep.
This is not going to happen immediately. Just look forward to it still. I'm still pumped about this year, because I want to see the changes
Oh,
from
yeah,
last
yeah,
year.
100%. Yeah, 100,
But
100%
I
agree
think,
with you.
to
I'm
your
so
point,
pumped.
Mike perfectly stated that this is all new. None of the coaches on the offensive side have been here. And more importantly than anything, there are, you guys can correct me if I'm just totally blanking, there is no player on this offense who's played 17 full games for the Cleveland Browns. Zero.
Fannin was injured. Bond.
Bannon is the longest tenured offensive player we have. Judy.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm
Well,
wrong. Judy
yeah,
is the
young. Yeah,
only
Judy played
player
all
who's
in. Yeah.
played
I love it
more
when you
than
prove
17
yourself wrong.
games for this team. That's it.
I hate when people say you guys are being negative, when sometimes the truth is the truth, right? Like, the truth is you do have a whole new offense. The truth also is they might struggle. And I'm not going to come on. I just can't. I'm not that person. I'm not going to be fake. I'm going to tell you guys, listen, it's a whole new offense, a whole new offensive line. Maybe you'll luck out and get 9 wins, 5 to 9 wins. That'd be great. But if the quarterback who everybody wants does not improve the ticker in his head, it's not going to happen. It's just not. And I'm not even worried about Deshaun Watson anymore, because I don't want Deshaun Watson. I don't care. And I'm tired of the comparison. Whenever I say Shedeur did this, someone says, well, Dylan did this. Like, I don't care what Dylan and what Watson does. I'm worried about the guy who I want to start for my team, the guy that I'm hoping is the franchise. I'm holding him to a higher standard, because that's who I want as my quarterback. I don't care if Deshaun Watson throws 3 interceptions, because he's not going to be here tomorrow. He's not going to be here next year. If
I was gonna say
Shedeur wants
tomorrow.
to be, Mike's like, wait, your trade's happening? If if Shedeur wants to be the starting quarterback for infinity here, he is going to have to improve. And I'm telling you, he knows this. Whenever he has a bad game, do you know the sign that he knows he has a bad game? He stays at the practice and he works with the receivers. Guess what he did today, Chad? He stayed at the practice and he worked with the receivers because he knows he's struggling. That is just me being real. The problem is you Browns fans sometimes live in a fantasy. You guys get expectations of 12 wins, and then by week 7, you're sitting there saying, sell the team. I'm just trying to bring balance to your life to tell you, listen, the reality is not 12. The reality is between 5 and 7. If you accept that this year, you're going to have a better next year because next year might be 12. That's all I'm saying. That's not negative. Me, I'm being real with you. I'm being honest. I'm not going to come out here and say Super Bowl. I want Monken to work out. I want Sanders to work out. I love our receivers, like Mike said. I think Junkin's a beast, regardless of whatever that GOAT guy says. He's a beast. And by the way, stats do suck. But you know what don't suck? Advanced analytics, because it's deeper than just surface stats. That's my argument.
Scott, let me ask you a question. Did you watch the Patriots camp all last year? I mean, did they come out with greatness right off the bat? I mean, I get it. They had a bunch of changes as well.
Drake Mays,
yeah.
Third
Drake
pick in the
Mays
draft.
Here's a third. Again, like I seen this thing going around where people are comparing Shedeur Sanders to Peyton Manning. He started off throwing 9. It's like Peyton Manning was the first pick of the draft. Like you're talking, and I get it. He should have been a first round, but he's not. He was a 5th round pick. And obviously, if you're honest with yourself, guys, and you look at the tape and you watch him, and just be real. Like come to Jesus and just be like, all right, cool. And like take the fandom off your eyes. You will see that Shedeur Sanders does have weaknesses he needs to improve on. Can it be corrected? I hope so. I think Todd Monken can help.
I love all these people in here that are backing Shedeur 100%, which I am too. But if you're gonna back the dude and try to trash talk him, at least learn how to spell his name, please.
Mike is.
By the way, Bernie Kosar is not a Hall of Famer, so know your facts, buddy. He's our Hall of Famer, but he's not a Hall of Famer.
Hostile today in the show, man.
Well,
like it.
Yeah.
I just listen. Like I told you, I was very positive until I went to camp today, and then reality hit me. The reality is, I don't know if the guy I like is going to be the answer because he has not learned much. And we can stop the rep talk, right? Did he get enough reps yet? Can we not use that excuse anymore? He's got second most on the team. So I'm hoping Shedeur pans out. I'm going to be rooting for him. But I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket with him. Just not.
So here, let me give you something here. This is going to piss a lot of people off. I like Shedeur. I do. I would like him to be the quarterback. But what Shedeur fans do are they fall in love with this kid that's subpar, just like Baker Mayfield. I said it. He is subpar. He is a decent quarterback. Yes, he could be a starting quarterback in the NFL, just like Baker Mayfield was. But everybody was on Baker because he did things in Cleveland. He opened up the refrigerators. You know, he won some games. He got us to the playoffs.
He talked trash to Hugh Jackson and point the finger at him.
Yes. Could Shedeur do that? Could Shedeur do that?
He can. He can, but he's not going to be Drake May.
And here's my difference, though, because I'm okay if he's not Drake May. He was a 5th round pick. You got him for almost free. When it comes to the comparison of him and Baker, we know that Baker wasn't good enough for this team. That's why they ditched him. So he has to be better than Baker. And Baker came onto a team that had no wins, like 1 win in 2 years, and he immediately won 7 games, broke a touchdown record that had been in place since Peyton Manning. He did gigantic things as a rookie, guys. It's not even close. And for everybody that's like, well, the line is bad, the receivers are bad. How good do you think this was when Baker got drafted in 2018? They had just lost 30 one of 32 games.
Yeah, they were
They
going
were
through
the
that
worst.
Sashi Brown rebuild. Yeah.
Yeah, they were
Adjustments.
terrible. They were losing on purpose. They cut all their veterans. They brought in all young guys and then like one or two guys in free agency. It was a bad team, but you still saw Baker do first round things from day one. Guess how many reps he had before that Jets game that he won? None. 0. He had no first team reps. None. How is everybody still talking about reps when you've seen a guy with no reps do that? If he's got it, he can do it. I'm not saying that Sanders has no future, he won't get improved. I'm not saying Deshaun Watson has no chance. But when they get out there, you got to see it. The guys have got to stop like expecting the line is going to be perfect and the receivers will be perfect. Just go out there and show us something. Baker didn't win 12 games as a rookie. He won 7, but he showed something consistently. He threw more touchdowns than interceptions. He got like great passes. He found his lead receivers. He was constantly doing positive things more than negative things. So that's all I really want to see before we start propping a guy up. At least to your point, like, sure, a lot of people got a little too high on Baker, Mike, but they saw something. Like, we need to see something besides like a flash play.
That's my point.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you brought the Bucks to a playoff win, but where's your $50 million contract at? Because what do the Bucks see? What do the Browns see? And listen, guys, I want Shedeur to start. I legit want Shedeur to start, and I want him to do well. I very much want that. But I am trying to make a valid point. Cleveland fans, you guys make it even harder for everybody in the long run. And I'm a Cleveland fan, so yeah, I'm making it harder. What I'm trying to say here is it's just take a step back and let reality smack you. Let it do something because it's not going to work. You guys are going to complain and complain and complain all year long, like we are, right? We're all complaining right now. Let's get it out, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Just
I agree.
I just think your point is valid, Mike. And for being like the most positive guy on the show, I think the big thing I ask people is you can be as positive as you want. You can be as hopeful as you want. But I see so many people, to what you said, that get their hopes so far up that they're absolutely crushed when it doesn't work out. And we've been telling them the whole time, proceed with caution. There's a lot of need for growth before this team can be good. And then when the season's 8 games in and they're 2-6, they're freaking out like Angel said, like sell the team, cut everybody, blah, 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 tank now. And it's like that flip is what bothers me. And the flip is more harsh when people have unrealistic expectations. If you just go in with realistic expectations, you won't get such an emotional flip.
let me ask the fans something. Hey, who won that last Cincinnati Bengals game against the Browns? What player had a huge impact, or what side of the ball had a huge impact on winning that game that day?
Smitty.
Go ahead, Chad.
I'm going to go with the defense.
Thank you.
I mean, the defense dominated that game, and the offense did almost nothing.
Oh, we cared about Garrett's 9 tickets. How could you be kind of ignorant and roll over a Porsche?
Yeah,
and get speeding tickets?
if you're just now watching the show and I had a meltdown. Like everyone else like, dude, chill out. I was like, no, he's speeding. Like he should be held accountable. Yeah, I agree. The speed tickets are bad. And James Frank asked why am I holding my head up? Because I'm trying to gain my composure. Because these Shedeur fans find anything to say just to say it. It's like, come on, guys. Like, I'm a Shedeur fan. We're Shedeur fans, okay? I'm too realistic, too logical to believe in the fallacy that he can come and win 14 games this year. Okay? I just can't. I
I
just
want to hit
I
Bad News
love you
Brown.
guys.
He said, "Listen, we see something that y'all don't.
Thank
Just
you.
see, it's not our fault."
Yeah, no, you do. I see moments. And I'll tell you, I see moments, but sometimes those moments are overcome by things that he does consistently that he hasn't broken up yet. And someone just said he tied Joe Burrow's passing record as a rookie. Yeah, he did it against the worst defense in the league.
Oh, his
Like,
single game record?
yeah, like come
That's
on.
specifically why I said we need to see consistent good things like Baker Mayfield, not just
Yes.
one flash.
Danny.
Like,
If you okay, no, again, stats don't matter until you want to bring up a stat to prove your guy's good. Like, make it make sense, guys. You guys are just in the chat saying stats are stupid. Now all of a sudden he's like, I'm gonna bring up a stat to show you that Shedeur is good. Be consistent. That's the problem. You're not consistent, so you like a quarterback that's not consistent. Like, make it make sense, guys.
Boom.
Like I
Mic
love
drop.
you guys. I love Shedeur Sanders. Listen, everything about Shedeur Sanders, his character, his moxie, everything he represents is what I love and what I want in a quarterback. But the reality is, I need his play to be where it needs to be. Where I'm on your guys' side, saying, "Yeah, I think he can be a franchise quarterback." And I do respect all you guys' opinions. I'm not saying you guys are wrong. I don't. Your opinions are right. That's your opinion. You see something better than I can see in Shedeur Sanders right now. Now, maybe in 3 weeks, I'm going to change. I just came from training camp. I'm a little negative right now. So maybe by week 1, I'm going to say Shedeur Sanders is Joe Burrow. Like, we'll see, though.
I hope. That's the
hope.
thing is we all hope. We're just waiting for it, though. And I just feel like people are like, well, if you hope hard enough, it'll come true. But
Yeah,
that's
and you
not
bring up a good point.
hey,
It's always going to be an excuse why with him, isn't it? The line isn't good. The receivers drop the ball. The coach sucks. There's always going to be an excuse. Is it eventually going to be Shedeur Sanders' fault? That is that is what I am starting to think of. Now that I'm speaking this out with you guys, like at some point, guys, we're going to have to say maybe Shedeur isn't who we thought he was, and it's not right now. I'm not saying that now, but there's going to come a time that if that time comes, we're all going to have my wife come in here and have a therapy session. And we're all just going to have to work it out and cry it out as Browns fans. And she won't charge you because I like, you do it for me, babe. I got some Browns fans out here that just have to accept reality and we'll work through it. But until then, I'm going to still root for the kid.
And
I'm
that's what's crazy for me. So obviously Chad makes fun of me for having some hope the last 2 years since he's been a part of the show.
I
And
always am such a jerk about hope.
but this year he really didn't. Like, he kind of acknowledged the fact that there is some sense of like hope. There is a little, or even Chad, I believe, right? I mean, you got
Yeah,
some in
there's
there.
so much to look at on this team that's positive. That's why I'm thrown off that people are so reluctant to acknowledge that there could be any negative, because of course there's going to be.
yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Angel, did you want to go on
this
record saying the Titans are pure? The
this
Titans
has
offense was butt. And statistically, if I can bring up stats now, they were. If you go, who was the worst defense in the league in Google, they would tell you they were one of the bottom 5 defenses that were worse in the league. Just saying. And yes, somebody who just said that you just don't make it to the NFL by accident. Well, then why aren't we advocating for Dylan Gabriel? I mean, he
No.
made the NFL. He was drafted higher than Shedeur Sanders. Why aren't we advocating for him? I mean, you just don't make the NFL by accident.
You
Like,
make
you
the
guys
NFL by
this
being good
is
at
what drives me
college.
crazy. It's like
You
you
make
guys
the NFL by You make the NFL by being good at college, but we know from all of this time watching football that it doesn't always translate. College becomes
I agree with
irrelevant.
you. Bad news. I do think bad news, Brown. I agree with you. Kevin had a lot to do with last year. That is why I'm giving Shedeur this year because I think Monken can help. But what I saw at training camp, I think it's going to take longer than I anticipated.
Yeah. I'm over the Kevin crap because we're hearing all of the same messaging from Andrew Berry and Monken this year. that we were hearing from Kevin when people were saying that Kevin was trying to like
Doesn't like him.
sabotage Shedeur, which meanwhile, I've never seen so much work put into sabotaging a guy. I don't know who comes in early to do one-on-ones every single day of practice to sabotage a guy. But I will agree that Stefanski's offense was not great for Shedeur. I also don't think it was great for Watson, which is part of the disconnect between how they built this roster and who was coaching. He's a system guy. Those are not system quarterbacks. They're freelance quarterbacks. They're, find their strong point and only do that quarterbacks. I just think like it's still coming back to, well, let's blame the line. Let's blame Stefanski. Like, at what point is anyone just going to hold this kid accountable? We hold Watson accountable. We hold Gabriel accountable. We're on this show. We're going to hold Sanders equally accountable, and that's just how it's going to be. Like, the difference is all three of us see the fact that if he actually does become good, we're saved. So we all we all want it to work. We're just not going to pretend it's working when it's not because we want it to work.
We all
What
want
I
the
do
same
like,
thing. We just communicated it differently.
what I want is for Monken to hold people accountable for their actions, whether it be pre-snap penalties, penalties in general, bad play. And if I hear this guy once say we got to do better, I am throwing myself off a bridge.
We got to do better. We got to be better. We should do that as a hotkey. That's funny.
Yeah.
That would be a funny hotkey. Let's go on to a little further notes here. What are we learning from Todd Monken, from Monken and AB's comments about cadence and decision making? Obviously, that's important, right? We understand that, and they want a quarterback who understands cadence. For those that don't know what cadence is drawing people off sides. And what's the other thing I just said? Oh, decision making. It's important. And what's cool about that comment is if Shedeur can't be that, then if they do look for a quarterback next year, those are the things that we need to look for in a quarterback. If they make good decisions and if they draw people off sides and have good cadence in college, most likely that's who they're going to lean toward. Because it's Todd. That's what Todd wants. Oh man, I'm tired of talking about Shedeur.
I do want to. I want to bring up one more Shedeur thing again, and I know I made that reel about it, and this is probably going to make some people upset. But all you Shedeur fans that are watching, that are strictly just Shedeur fans before you were Browns fans, go and read up on the Browns' history in the quarterback room the last 27 years, and then come back here, and you'll understand why we're all skeptical about any quarterback, not just Shedeur. Any and every quarterback. Do me that favor.
I still was skeptical of Baker Mayfield, and he was winning.
It all comes back to what Angel said. We're skeptical of all of them. The reason we talk about Shedeur is he's the one hope. We're skeptical of Watson. Who cares? He's on the last year of his deal. Gabriel, none of us thought he would ever be a starter. He would just be a long-term backup. So the reason we talk the most about Shedeur, and it sounds negative, is because he's the one we need to be good.
He's our favorite child that's disappointing us in school. Okay. The other kids, we don't care if they get Fs. That golden child, we want straight A's. If he doesn't, we're going to be upset. That's what we're saying. We're all saying the same thing about Shedeur. We want him to be the quarterback. The only difference is we're just ending it differently. You guys think he's going to be Super Bowl. We still want to see it. We're not saying he can't. We want to see it sooner rather than later. And by the way, while we're waiting, we're not going to give any excuses, and we're not going to pity around about it. We're just going to say he's holding the ball or he's getting sacked. Young receivers, breaking out at camp. Young receivers, and this is where it gets exciting because I was there. I saw Denzel Boston getting open. There are times I'm looking at the quarterback and he's at far right side of the field, and all of a sudden he's on the other side of the field making catches. I'm thinking, like, I told the guys around, how did he even get over there? It is great to finally see what actual receivers look like after not having any for so long. It is.
I
If
have
if
never
anything I got out of camp and stats, like we have receivers finally.
I have never heard more consistent praise from so many different outlets in Browns camp for an offensive player as I have for Denzel Boston. And that doesn't mean he'll be the best ever. I mean, we're competing with guys like Nick Chubb, but like the last time I remember people looking at a Browns player in camp and saying like he just stands out every play was Josh Gordon. And that was
Yep.
so long ago. And it's the last time I remember. And we drafted Braylon Edwards, and I remember it was like, oh, he was good, but he's got some issues. And
Dropping the ball.
Denzel
Michigan.
Boston has been just lights out from every source, and that's so exciting. And then over the last week, I've finally seen so much positive stuff about Casey Concepcion, which is exactly what we predicted earlier. Is until the pads go on and they start hitting and competing, you might not see him stand out. And it looks like as soon as they started, he's standing out again.
Yeah, I honestly do remember Sam being super, super high on Denzel Boston, and it worked. He's like, "Watch, guys, I'm gonna tell you, dude," and he's right so far. And
He
that's
loved
something
it.
I'm excited to see too. A taller wide receiver that can catch the ball, that'll go up for the ball. My only concern is that dude's reach so far right now is so incredible. I just don't want injury to happen, and that's the only downfall. I don't want him to go up high for a pass, get hit, come down wrong, and that's his season. That's my only gripe. Other than that, man, and Casey Concepcion, I would love to see. I don't know why you guys don't want him in slot. A little guy that can run fast, run post quick, get the ball in the midfield, not afraid to get the ball at all in the middle of the field. Will do whatever he's got to do to get that ball as well. And then yards after catch.
It sounds a lot like Boston is stepping into the X position, and the coaches sound like they're going to want to move around Concepcion and Judy, and then the next guy up is Bond. I even saw Tillman made a couple plays in camp this week, but like it really is going to be like, okay, you got a deep threat in Bond, and he's apparently gotten better at all of the other aspects of receiving, and then you've got Boston just blowing it out of the water, and then Concepcion just looks like he's coming on hot. Judy has had a really weird camp. There's been a bunch of clips that I've seen that I didn't like, but I think this coaching staff is set on moving him around. They've already said it publicly, and you just don't say stuff like that probably if you're not going to do it, because it's just giving away something people are going to find out anyway. But that's how he was best here. In 2024, when he was actually good, they were moving him into the slot like 35% of the time.
Yep,
So
I just
that's
posted
the only
about that.
reason I don't want Casey stuck in the slot, is because I want them both to be able to move.
Yeah, I get
Yeah.
that. And one thing I am excited to see Bond too, man. Like a full year off season. He got acclimated last year. He's coming off his rookie year, and that kid's going to
Gained
be
like
incredible.
15 pounds too.
I've seen
They
him
gained
make
muscle.
some incredible catches too. So it's looking forward to that.
So Casey Concepcion last year, where he was slot driven at NC State, went to Texas Tech, Texas A&M, sorry, and his slot drop rate dropped to 35%, where 65 of his percent was played outside at Texas A&M. So I can see what Chad just brought up. I actually, weirdly enough, looked up his information this morning while waiting for an account to open up. That Jerry Jeudy in 2024 played the slot 34% of the time. Last year, it dropped to 13%. So, and the
Gotta move him
slot is
around.
where, yeah, you got to move him around. I don't think he's a true X. I thought maybe they thought to themselves, oh, he got 1,200 yards last year. It's great base year. Let's move him to a one. Nah, I think I would not be surprised. And I've read articles, there's some people slowly writing about it's coming up now that Judy's been playing in the slot and Casey Concepcion has been playing wide receiver too. So don't be surprised and I could see, like Chad just brought up, you could see them switching back and forth just to confuse the defense, which I think would be a brilliant move by Todd Monken. By the way, you get value out of Jerry Jeudy if that happens, because you're not relying on him getting 90 balls thrown to him like in 2024. You're limiting the drops by not throwing it to him. But if he's open, Let's pray. Let's pray that he catches it, because if
Just
not,
he's
people are
on
gonna
the
riot.
team. The best thing to do is just find a way to make him productive. I think a lot of people are like, well, just trade him or cut him because he was bad last year. That's not how football teams get better.
It's not.
What you do is you find a way to make him better.
Yeah, even like in 2024, he played everywhere. I didn't break it down enough because I too much breakdown, it gets boring. But I mean, he even played a little bit backfield. I think there's like 5 or 6 snaps when he was in the backfield, even in 2024. So I think moving him around might increase his potential.
I'm looking forward to a big season this year for Judy as well. He's only 27 years old, guys. He's still got some in the tank for sure. I'd say another 2 or 3 good years out of him. Maybe not even as a Brown, but I've seen some of him doing workouts. Yeah, I saw that comment. Chad, read that read Kenny's comment. I did see, him
Medical
doing like
license,
some
Kenny.
some
Gotta
drills.
keep my medical license.
He got to keep his medical license. Ethan says, "How are you going to make him better if you can't consistently catch the ball?" That's the thing. You don't consistently throw him the ball. You just throw it to him in moments that you
The
hope.
thing that bothers me about that comment is we threw him the ball more the year before, though.
And he
He
caught
dropped
it.
the ball more, and he was still way more productive. So if he drops 14 balls and gets 1,300 yards, great. If he drops 10 balls but gets 600 yards, that sucks. So, like, the drops were not the problem. The lack of productivity, just like an interception is not a problem. A quarterback can throw 15 interceptions in a season. If he threw 45 touchdowns, but you can't
Jared Goff.
you can't throw for 10 interceptions and 6 touchdowns. Like, you just have to make him productive. It's not like he drops every ball, guys. Like, he gets 64 passes his way and he drops 10. That sucks. But it still leaves 54 that he caught or that weren't catchable. It's just the drops are not going to change. He's 26. It's more
That's Greg
about
Littlegood.
find out what he actually can do and do that.
I feel like whenever you stick up for a player fans don't like, they feel like you want him to stay on the team. So let me clarify this. We don't want Judy to stay on the team outside of his contract years. But we're
He's here,
saying if
though.
he's on the team, why not just use him? That's what we're saying. We're not saying throw him out. We're just saying just add him, put him in the position to succeed. 2024 is a good blueprint. Even though he dropped 10 balls and made the Pro Bowl, everybody was hopeful for 2025 when he came here. When he came back the next year, people was like, Jerry Judy's receiver 1. He's gonna make the Pro Bowl again. Only to be disappointed because maybe it wasn't him.
You got to
Just
think, veteran Joe Flacco was throwing to him that year.
Yeah, but Joe Flacco's no super. Like, it's not like
Wait,
anybody's
no,
like,
that was
well, Joe
Winston.
Flacco
Jameis
just makes
Winston was
receivers.
throwing to him. Winston was throwing to him.
Yeah,
Jameis.
Jameis Winston. That's right.
Jameis. And
Yeah, you are.
for the better argument, like bulk of his yards did come like at a 3 to 4 game stretch. So I mean, there's smoke and mirrors there, but
Which
the
is
point's the
much
point.
better, though, when you're not depending on him week in and week out. And this
Exactly.
year, they're hoping not to have to. So acting like, oh, if Jerry Jeudy at $16 million a year isn't a number 1 receiver, he has no role. Yeah, he could be your 3rd receiver, and he could be a friggin' really good wide receiver 3. I don't know why we want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. We have this weird mentality that if he's not a superstar, you don't want him on the roster. Like, yes, you do. You want as many good players as you can. You want a guy that used to be your number 1 option to be your number 3 option. That means you're getting better. So, like, yeah, keep him around until he's not worth the money anymore. But
Yeah,
don't
I'll say
count on him.
this. There's not much wide receiver depth, though. And I know we're going to give our receiver praise and Andrew Berry praise from drafting the 2 receivers. After those 3, you get to Bond and then Luke Florio, and then you got Talon. What's that guy's name from Baltimore? We got
Taylor Wallace.
Wallace, yes,
yeah,
yeah, Wallace. So there's not much depth at there. So if you get rid of Judy and then you bring in you're going to bring in Bond for the slot every time. The beauty of Todd Monken is, and I think this is the theme of this year, is versatility. Like you want to be able to have so many pieces that you're versatile. So if you have Bond, Judy, and KC anywhere in the field, you're not going to know what they're going to do. So if you get rid of Judy, I do think you can move them around and at least be a decoy. Worst case, I don't think Malachi Corley is going to be on the team, but that's just me.
Yeah, that's a tough one for me, but that's what it's looking like.
Malachi Corley and Gage Larvin-Dane, I think will be
I'll
the
be
two
back
on the
in 16 seconds.
16. So on to Mike's favorite position, the offensive line. I should have paused there. That would have been funny. Spencer Fano tops Dwayne Jones as Mike's. Your starter predictions, Mike. Do we have the graphic? Oh, you do have it up. Sweet. So let's talk about Spencer Fano hitting the starter position, which is an amazing thing. He beat up Jones. He beat Jones for it. He's the left tackle, which we kind of figured that was going to happen. But it's pretty cool for him have him get it. And this is Mike's do we say offensive line prediction tracker?
I think the
Yeah,
whole offense.
Yeah, the whole offense with that giant question mark there behind Elton Jenkins.
All right, go ahead, Mike. This is you. Spencer. Okay.
So yeah, Spencer Fano, guys. Obviously, he's been doing a lot of work with Verse as well. The left tackle being one of the most prominent spots on the offensive line, especially if your quarterback's a right-handed quarterback. Correct? You're blocking your quarterback's blind side.
Oh.
That's very important. Zion Johnson, a left guard, and this is me basically picking the best possible guys, in my opinion, that we have for these spots. The center was kind of hard. I mean, there's options, not many, but there's options. The Parker Brailsford has been blowing up supposedly. Correct? Everybody's been hearing big things about that kid, but I just don't know yet. So I'll give it to him. Right guard Titus Howard, and right tackle DeJuan Jones if he could stay healthy. Why not keep him at right tackle and just keep Spencer at left tackle? He did well at right tackle. You know DeJuan Jones can play right tackle. Leave him over there. Let Spencer come in his rookie year and dominate his position. Because he played a little bit of right tackle as well. Fano did.
Ethan with the comment, you should have put a poop emoji behind the center position. Apparently, he wasn't here earlier, but apparently he caught the opening of the show by Angel.
Poop. Big old poop.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what do you guys think of that? That's just a quick.
I'm surprised, honestly, that Titus Howard hasn't locked down the right tackle position, and it hasn't sounded like he has yet. Brailsford was getting some early hype, but I think he's actually been hurt like the last week and hasn't been practicing. So that doesn't help your case when you're a rookie trying to play a position as complicated as center. So now I'm pretty much set on Jenkins having that position. I'm wondering, though, on that right side, Howard is going to be in the mix. I heard KT Levinson has looked really good playing guard instead of tackle. DeJuan Jones, I still envision as our swing tackle, but we'll see. And then Tevin Jenkins. So you got basically like, I don't think Barber's ready to step into a starting role yet. You got like 4 guys all kind of that are going to end up now that Spencer Fano, Zion Johnson are locked in. You got like 4 guys that are going to be battling for how that right side of that line stacks up. And I'm actually pretty curious how that's going to work out once it's all said and done. And I'm not sure we'll make a giant deal out of it, but I wouldn't be shocked if that gets locked in by like the end of the first preseason game.
My biggest thing for Titus Howard, honestly, is taking something from the Texans and hoping that it works here like we do with them. When we give them something from the Browns, it typically works for them. Us, not so much. So hopefully us taking him will work in our favor, correct? Yeah? Hope.
Yes.
That word hope.
So I think I figured out why Shedeur not throwing Spyros, Chad.
Oh.
He has blisters.
I don't even want to know from what.
Okay.
That's what's being currently reported. Not confirmed, but X is reporting it. His followers are saying that he has blisters. That's why he's not been throwing a spiral.
Maybe honestly, I was
Also,
looking for any explanation because it does not look as good as it used to. But again, they are not looking at him throwing to decide whether he's going to start. They're looking at whether he can run the offense. I think they can watch film and know how he throws, and know whether and they can see even if it's not a spiral, if it's going to the right guy and it's landing in the right area. They don't care.
Ethan said, see, my
You
problem.
better
I think Boog said that. His camera guy says,
guys-
"Hey, he has blisters." Do you see the problem, Chad? Do you see that?
Yes.
See, now you're doing the face. That's
Guys-
what I
Well,
mean.
because you said like
So-
X reported, and so it is going to be treated like if it's trending, then it's going to be treated like a report. And then when you source it back to like, oh, it's one of his homies, so then do we believe it or is it an excuse? It's too hard to tell.
Yeah,
you
That's
guys
all.
are going to send this
Also-
fan base in a downward spiral.
Yeah, literally. Also, too, just to let you guys know, Todd Monken announced that four of the five starting offensive spots are set as we prepare for the regular season. Are you ready for them? Left tackle Spencer Fano, left guard Zion Johnson, and center Elton Jenkins. Right guard ? And
Oh,
right tackle Titus Howard. So the only one that has not been guessed yet has been the right guard. So Tavion Jenkins and KT Livingston are competing for the right guard.
Yeah, I figured they would decide it by the first game because that is too difficult of a position with 5 guys. It's not even like quarterback where you're like, okay, let's wait till after 2 preseason games and we'll name the starter because we're rotating them. These guys are rotating all over the place. So like by preseason week 1, you need to put the 5 guys in there that are going to stay so they can all start learning from each other. And the quarterbacks, both of them, can start learning behind the same line. So that's a huge deal. And that's a big battle, Levingston and Jenkins, because neither of them were brought in to be the starting guard. They were brought in to compete wherever they would fit.
Listen, I mean, just hear me out here. Say for some reason Dylan Gabriel is the quarterback for. All right, so just Dylan Gabriel's playing in the game, right? Say you have. Look at this. All right, say DeJuan Jones is your right guard, and there's Dylan Gabriel, that big question mark there. Can you imagine trying to throw over DeJuan Jones?
DeJuan is a huge guard. KT Levinston is a big guy. DeJuan would be a monster guard. I just don't.
So you just roll them out every time, just
Yes, every
Roll
single
'em.
time. Just-
Yep.
every
and
single
he rolls to the left.
Yeah. So
Yeah, he
I
could
mean,
get away
that's
from DeJuan.
He
Yeah.
can get because DeJuan's slow. The problem is
There's-
you just got to worry about the other guys making sure there's protection over there.
He has enough trouble trying to like
Hawaii
find
5'9".
he has so much trouble trying to find windows in between guys. Having DeJuan Jones there feels like
I mean,
a
no
nightmare.
problem.
But I just don't see DeJuan. I think DeJuan's future, if he's going to stay at Brown, I think is play swing tackle, keep developing on both
Yeah.
sides, and eventually plug and play when we need you. He's shown he can be good on the right, but the injuries obviously are worrying no matter whether you're a backup or starter. But if you're not counted on every week, the injuries become less of an issue. And the longer he goes from his past series of injuries without having to deal with another one, the better. So I'm all for that. I really think it'll be exactly what you said. Like it's Livingston or Tevin Jenkins. And honestly, I would feel comfortable with either. I think the line will take a long time, like 2 months, to get their crap together. I still think they are in a better position than last year's line, where it was old guys who didn't care, constantly getting injured and rotating. This should look more like an upward line, whereas last year they started shaky and they got worse and worse and worse until they took out some of these older guys and replaced them. And that's when it finally stabilized in maybe like December. Like,
How does Rancha know I played hockey? That's crazy.
Yeah, people know about
Look
it,
at-
dude.
3 rich white boys. spoon
Rich?
fed.
Dude, if I was rich, I would not be doing a podcast right now. If I was
Bro,
rich,
we're from Cleveland.
I would be. I don't know. If I was rich, I wouldn't be. Actually, I probably would be doing If I was rich, I wouldn't have to be getting up at 3 a.m. to go to work. Like that's no rich. And then be honest with you, that was a racist comment. But let's not talk
It's
about
definitely
that.
a racist comment, which makes me laugh because obviously that translates to, would I bet he's a Sanders stan? Yes. Is there anybody who grew up richer than that kid? Not many.
Not me.
Hey,
What are you talking about?
I just turned 41 years old yesterday. If I were rich, I wouldn't be this gray.
Yeah, you'll be like, I'll have if I was rich, I'll have a hair transplant. I mean, I wouldn't be wearing a hat. I wouldn't be shaving my head bald. If I was, I would be going to Turkey or Turkish, wherever you get those hair transplants at. Not, I didn't want to go to Brazil and get those ones that like could mess up and you get an infection, you get brain. I'll be going to get the legit done. I'll be having locks like
Turkey.
Mike's beard. Turkey. Okay.
We're heading to
Just
Turkey.
in case
Let's
I hit the lottery, I know where to go now. That's just so mean. Gosh, man, it hurt my feelings, man. Defense is still dominating and getting interceptions. By the way, I want to declare this right now. Interceptions on this team is the new sacks. So if you don't see a high rate of sacks this year, though I think you are, you're going to see not as high. I do think we're going to see our fair share of turnovers that we did not see with Jim Schwartz.
Mike Rutenberg leading the way. I think you're going to see a lot more turnovers on the defensive side of the ball, which are going to be great. You've seen it at camp, and obviously we talked about that earlier, where you're playing against pretty much a new offense against I'm going to say a pretty elite defense. So, I mean, if you could convert turnovers could win games. Time of possession could win games. There's a lot of things that could win games, ladies and gentlemen, and defense is one of them. If you could put more than 16 points.
And you have struggling quarterbacks, getting them the ball in good field position and getting them the ball early and often will be huge. I have said all along I expect a drop on the defense, especially to start the season, but in no way do I think this defense is in the wrong direction. I think I'm just wondering how long it will take for everything to gel together, and I'm worried about the depth. But if this team is healthy, this defense can be really nasty.
You're right
as long
about
as,
the
we
depth
don't lose a
corner.
cornerback or defensive lineman,
Yeah,
we can be
just
really
said it.
nasty.
Yep.
If we can get 3 pick sixes a game, we'd be all right.
We'll win every game. 21 points. You're right about depth at corner. I think the Browns lost another guy at corner. I didn't see any updates, but another
Ross.
backup.
Yeah, he's out.
Yeah. So one of the things we said in the beginning, Angel, what are you worried about? Corner depth and linebacker depth. And so far, even defensive tackle, like Mason Graham didn't play a lot today, and I saw Collins on the sideline still. So
Paul's been out all week.
Yeah, Collins has been all year.
I've been out of the loop the last day and a half, guys, as you know that, but I'm here just to give my opinion.
Yeah. And by the way, I should have corrected that young man or woman. I am half Puerto Rican, not just white. So
white boy. That's just what a white boy would
way
say.
off. You're way off. Can you tell by the beard?
Yeah.
Yeah. So next up, the Bears preseason game this Saturday. Strongsville Browns backers are having like this little thing. I thought about going, but then I said to myself, I probably will go. Actually, I was going to try to talk myself out of it. Because I don't want to get YouTube TV and watch that. So I don't want to pay like $80-$90. I might just start going to Browns backer up the street there and watch the preseason game. What do we expect? You think Watson's going to
be on the radio? I expect that.
Yes, from 9 to 10:30 a.m. on Saturday. Will you guys be doing the pregame then?
We're going to be doing a pregame. At WOBL. It's 107.7 FM and 1320 AM. And then you could also go to WOBLradio.com and you can listen anywhere in the world to the show.
Yeah, so you guys are still doing 9 to 10:30. You guys aren't going to do anything leading up to the game.
I think this one might be leading up to the game. I'm not sure. It all depends on what the Guardians are doing and all that as well. So
Guardians, like, come on, guys, who cares about the Guardian? This is football town, dog. Yeah, tune in. I'll be tuning in. I'll probably call in actually. If you want to leave a voicemail, go to our email, our website, and hit that corner, and then you can go and leave us a voicemail for the show. Get played. You can get played. Angel and my ancestors came here on the same boat. I should have read that, but that's true.
Wow.
True.
Anyways, yeah, you guys
That's
can't leave a
true.
voicemail. Go to our website, beardedbrowns.com. There's a voicemail tab at the top right. You can leave a voicemail for the show. We'll play that either on this show or the radio.
I mean, it makes sense why Kenny's a 49ers fan, right? I mean, most of them are my ethnicity, it seems like.
You guys
most
know
of
who the
them are.
Viking starter is, correct? They
Yes.
announced that today.
Yeah, they did.
They did. One quarterback competition is over.
Meanwhile, we're still trying to decide ours.
This is when you should solve it, by the way. You should be like, okay, it's the week of the first preseason game. It's Kyler Murray, move on, but we just can't do it. And honestly, it's so easy for them. J.J. McCarthy reportedly has looked as bad as he did last year. And Kyler Murray, as much as people don't love him, when he is healthy and he plays, he's a pretty dynamic football player. It's an easy call. I wish ours was that easy. Somebody stood out so differently. Either of them, any of them.
Do you think Connor Stallions wasn't there? Is that why? Bad joke? Too soon?
No, I'm just laughing what Kenny said. True. That's why Mexico City's a home game for us.
Yeah.
All right. So camp injuries. Royer is missing. Do you guys know anything about the Royer situation?
Nobody can figure out. He's gone on like team leave, he's been gone for a long time.
Are we okay with saying speculation-ish stuff?
At this point, yes, because I'm so curious. Because nobody has been able to tell me.
Nobody. I wanted to talk about this on the show, but I was like, it's a touchy subject. I don't know if I'm going to do this. In the beginning of the season, there was a report saying that Royer was dating a girl in high school. Yes, it was a report. They came out saying he's dating, and it was a picture that came out. They were together, and since that report came out, you have not seen him.
Why is it always the Browns, man?
That's so weird.
A little bit, a lot of bit.
There it is. KP Young just confirmed it. KP Young just confirmed what I just said.
Can you imagine the coach's daughter? Like, coach is like, "Yeah, man, it's my daughter. Here she is, 17."
So someone from Cincinnati's coach, the daughter of that coach who was in high school, they were dating.
Wow.
That is my take. Is like maybe they found out. Maybe,
but it seems like there's more to. Almost like, is there going to be some kind of like legal matter, or is there going to be something more? And they're like, separate yourself until you get this figured out. Because like
that's why they're not saying it's an injury. That's why they're not saying anything else. I saw it like week 1 of rookie camp came out, and I'm like, man, I want to talk about this story, but I don't want to be the one to bring it up. I was hoping when you guys would kind of be like, hey, you seen this story? And then I would be like, hey, yeah, let's talk about it. But yeah.
And I assumed it was not an injury because it's been so quiet. And if it was just an injury, they'd be like, it's a hamstring. He's out, whatever. Yeah. I assumed it was legal troubles of some sort. This is more like avoid a media circus and just get him out of camp.
Yeah, KP said that they've been friends for a while and have a bond. She's 18 now, but at the time she was 16.
Okay. I mean, it's still weird, but whatever. I guess
whatever.
Solve your stuff.
That was your Browns rumor for today. Schwarzenegger's still missing a lot of time. They really are not talked about that as to why.
No, it's been quiet.
It's been quiet. Jack Stoll, a Hall. So Mike Hall gets hit by Junkins, falls to the ground, and has been gone since. Did I miss something?
Wait, Mike Hall's been gone since?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. I can't confirm that's when he's been gone since, but he's been out for like several practices now.
It looked like in that video where Judkins laid him out, he grabbed his wrist. Yeah, that's what I saw.
But before Judkins hit him, it looked like this is what I was talking about with Mike in the video. It looks like he contacts the offensive lineman and then he disengages and he grabs his wrist and then Judkins laid him out. And I'm like, if Judkins saw that, like I would actually be kind of pissed at Judkins. Like he
did get yelled at by the coach.
Yeah. And people were like propping it up. And I was like, I get it. But if you look closer, and he's like holding something, and you see a teammate like slouched over holding something, and you blast him. Wrong team, guys. Save it for a game. But it
Oh,
looked
that
like he
he's
did like hurt
hurt.
something then.
That
Kind of a make or
sucks.
break year for him because
Yeah.
he's been on and off. He's been in and out of the lineup with injuries. He's also been like pretty sporadic with like a couple explosive plays, but then just flashes, but then disappears for huge chunks of time. And like you just aren't gonna make a team consistently by being flashy. You gotta be consistent. And like he's not. He hasn't been at all. And so for him, if he can't, they've been letting older linemen leave for the last 2 seasons. I think in anticipation of the young guys that are here, that's gonna kill him if he
Yeah.
can't get out there.
Yeah, I agree.
What is this? Somebody. Oh yeah. Kenny says, I don't know if you just talked about this because I wasn't here, but is Judkins going to face any suspension for what happened? And that question is no. I think that's all
Yeah.
done and sealed. So
No,
we're
I
good
think it
on
was
that.
just like I said, I don't even know if he saw it. I think he just might have come around and been like, "Oh,
Hmm.
easy target. I'm gonna deplete this guy." But like he doesn't need to do that in this team. That's something like a backup needs to do. Or like that's what you worry about in preseason, why you worry about playing your starters, because you're worried about like a guy's trying to like show a big explosive play and he'll take a shot at somebody. So, but I don't think it was like he didn't like try to take him out. I can't tell if you realized that he was hurt, it looked like before he hit him, but it makes it a much less impressive hit when the guy's like hunched over, it looks like he's dying.
Well, that's why when I saw it, I sent it to you guys immediately. I was like, "Whoa, dude!" And then
Yeah, it was a
you're
big
like,
hit, but I'm all
So
me, like the PT brain, like I'm always just looking and I was like, "Ooh, I see like an injury happening before the hit."
oh, you're always looking at body parts.
I'm always looking at body parts.
It is. Tight end Jack Stahl's hurt. Is that in the notes, right? Yep.
All right, bringing Joker back.
Zinter is gone. Obviously, what a surprise!
Yeah,
Zinter's got
obviously.
hurt.
And I mean, he's hurt. Obviously, he got carted off, but
Yeah.
like after how bad he was as a rookie, or I mean, after he didn't do anything as a rookie, after how bad he was last year, if he gets carted off this year and he goes out injured, like he's going into his contract year next year, and he will have never played any meaningful football. This might be it for him. And they've redone the whole line, and they have a bunch of future draft picks. Like Zach Zinter is another guy that like Mike Hall, another early draft pick that might just literally because of injuries never amount to anything.
Yeah.
Andrew Berry might have to start like revamping the injury concerns of the guys he picks.
Yes.
I don't know if it's a trend yet, but it's worth looking at.
You guys probably don't know about this, but I posted on our X. Alex Wright hurt his hand during first team reps today. Has not been seen since. There's been no update. I'm looking for it, right? Yep, no update. So Alex Wright hurt his hand. I looked over and my brother's like, "Who's that?" And I thought it was Delpit at first, but then he stood up. I was like, "No, that's right." And he's holding his hand. The trainers were kind of like wrapping it, touching his hand, and he was in pain, grimacing. So let's hope Alex Wright is not hurt because I had high hopes for that guy to hopefully he doesn't have a broken hand or whatever. But
Another guy, and you can categorize Tillman in this as well, who when they're healthy, they look great, but they've been injured so much of their Browns
yes.
career.
And
Like
we
there's
talked
just a
about that in the
handful of these
bleachers.
guys and they redid the medical staff like I forget like 2 years ago. So anything before that you might have to, squash. But the reality is there's just this list of Andrew Berry guys, as good as he's drafted the last 2 years. There's just this list of Berry guys who have not been able to stay healthy, and it makes you wonder if they revamped the way they're looking at these draft picks.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's it, man. Bubble Jenkins, we just talked about him. They're going to be competing for that right guard. D'Angelo Russell. That was today, right? Was that the one that someone got hurt today? You just said
D'Angelo
his
Ross
name.
went down today. He's like
Ross. Yeah,
he's been stepping in at
third or
like
fourth.
nickel corner.
Yeah.
He
He
can't
might
play
be the guy
outside.
that's getting beat all the time.
Yes, he is that
Yeah.
exact guy, which is
He's
why I
that
was like,
guy was getting beat all the
he's
time.
on the bubble already, and getting injured like before preseason games when you're on the bubble is not good. That's why I was like, Zinter's probably gone. He's probably gone. Thank goodness Jenkins is back because now he's like deep in that competition. But it's worth noting how many guys, especially impactful ones like Hall, Graham, Wessinger, Wright,
Oh, it's Mathis.
are
That's what got hurt.
out and missing a really critical part of camp. Hopefully, a lot of it's minor, but like there hasn't been a major injury in camp to anybody that matters yet. So like it's very rare to come out of camp with none of those. So get ready.
Speaking of critical,
Mathis got
we
hurt
just-
today, by the way.
who
It's
did?
another corner. Mathis. That's who got hurt
Oh.
today.
Okay.
Yep. So just
So
scrap him up.
Get ready
Right,
for
sorry,
them to
Mike.
start bringing in random tight ends and corners just off the scrap heap just to get bodies.
Right? You played hockey. You're white. You want to go out there and play tight end?
I'm down.
Is that
I'm
if you're
6'6".
You can't play corner because
275
you're white.
pounds.
You probably can play
Yeah.
offensive line.
Can I try to kick?
You could try to kick. I mean,
We were supposed
you
to
have a
do
beard.
that.
I'm just
I forget who that person is already, but you should also let them know that I'm short. That doesn't help.
That doesn't help.
Speaking
we
of
should
critical,
plan
though,
a day to do that though, for real. That's a good idea. Yeah,
I agree.
We'll talk.
Speaking of critical, our time has to be pretty much squished down to an immediate time at the end of shows now because radio. Since we're all big time white dudes and whatnot, we have to, and millionaires, rich white dudes, yeah. But we are going to end the show. And again, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks for blowing it up. Make sure you guys all like, subscribe, and share. Angel.
I'm sorry, broken up. Anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in. Until next time, like always, go Browns.
Go Browns.